Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing super well. So welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about what happened to 10-year-old Bianca Lebron. This case happened over 20 years ago, but I definitely think it's still important to talk about, and it's still important to keep Bianca's name out there and keep her story alive. So yeah, my intentions with this video are to continue to spread awareness, continue to share Bianca's story, and just have her story reach as many people as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about in today's video. If you guys are new here, welcome, bienvenidos. Hopefully you guys can join the familia by clicking the subscribe button down below. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you guys again so much for being here, and let's jump right into today's video. Bianca Lane Lebron was born on June 26, 1991. She was born to parents Carmelita Torres and Feliz Lebron and was from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Her parents eventually separated, but they were still on good terms and very present in Bianca's life. She was a 5th grade student at Elias House School located on Clinton Avenue, and Bianca actually lived very close to this school. At the time, she was living with her mother, her stepfather Angelo, and her younger sister. She had a lot of cousins nearby, so they would all meet up in the morning and walk to school together. Now, Bianca was a very good student. She always did her homework, she enjoyed attending class, and she never skipped school. She even liked to play as a teacher when she would play with her younger cousins, and she would actually help them with their homework, so she was just very studious. Her hobbies included dancing and singing to all types of music, and she enjoyed shopping at the Milford Mall, which was near her family's home. She also had a pet hamster named Nina, and honestly, everyone describes her as being a friendly and happy child. She was always smiling, she would ride her bike around the neighborhood and play tag with her cousins and friends. Bianca just had a very outgoing personality and just seemed like a genuinely happy child. Fast forward to Wednesday, November 7th, 2001. Carmelita woke up early that morning and began getting ready for work. At around 8 a.m., she headed over to the kitchen and saw that Bianca was sitting at the kitchen table. She was just having some breakfast while she waited for her sister to get ready for school, and she was waiting for her cousins to come over so that they could walk to school together like they did every single morning. Bianca was wearing some khaki pants, a green and brown camouflage shirt, and a blue jean jacket. So as Bianca was sitting there having her breakfast, Carmelita quickly gathered all of her things for work and told Bianca, "Bye, I'll see you later," and then she walked out the front door and headed to work. A few minutes later, Bianca's sister and her cousins were all ready to go, and they began making their way to school. She got there at around 8:30 in the morning and was outside of the school waiting in line to check in for class. As Bianca was standing in line, a two-toned brown-colored van with tinted windows pulled out in front of the school. When this van pulled up, Bianca told her teacher and some of her classmates that she actually wasn't going to be attending class that day and that instead she was going to go on a shopping trip with her uncle. She asked some of her classmates if they wanted to go shopping with her and her uncle, but they declined. So after Bianca tells her teacher and her classmates that she's leaving on this shopping trip, she makes her way across the schoolyard, gets inside the brown van, and then the van drives away. Now, for some reason, this teacher did not report any of this. He didn't walk with Bianca to confirm that this was actually her uncle. He didn't call her parents to confirm that she was missing school to go shopping. He literally did nothing. All he did was mark Bianca as absent, and then he went about his day. A few hours later, at around 4:30 p.m., Bianca's family realizes that she hasn't made it home from school yet. Now, they weren't really too worried at first because normally Bianca would go hang out with her cousins after school, or sometimes she would go hang out at a friend's house. So they figured that this is most likely what happened and that she had just forgotten to let them know. However, when 8:30 p.m. hit and Bianca was still not home, that's when Carmelita knew that something was wrong. She began calling all of Bianca's friends, all of her cousins, all of her family to see if anyone had seen Bianca, but unfortunately no one had seen her since 8:30 that morning. This is when Carmelita decided to call the Bridgeport Police Department and report her daughter as missing. When Bianca's family heard from the school that she hadn't shown up to class and that she had ditched school to go shopping with her uncle, they were completely shocked. They literally were like, what? Like, what do you mean you just let her walk away, get inside a van, and drive off? They were so confused why this teacher did absolutely nothing to confirm this information or to notify the parents that Bianca was gone. To add to that, Bianca did not have an uncle. Carmelita says that she doesn't have any brothers and that no one in her family drives a brown van. So why did Bianca call this man her uncle, and who was he? Well, Bianca's classmates were able to provide a pretty thorough description of this uncle. He really didn't try to hide his identity. It's not like he showed up wearing a hoodie with a hat and sunglasses and was trying to hide who he was. This man literally showed up in broad daylight in front of all these people and willingly showed his face. So this man didn't really care if people got a good look at him. So this man is described as a Hispanic male in his 20s or 30s, about 5'10" with an average build. He had short, curly, black hair, long sideburns, and a beard. He was wearing a long-sleeve blue Gap pullover shirt, FUBU jeans with an image of Fat Albert on the right back pocket, and brown Timberland boots. This is the sketch that police made of this man, and Bianca's family says that they have no idea who this could be. As I mentioned earlier, Bianca didn't have any uncles, no one in the family drove a brown van, and no one they knew matched the description of this man. So a neighbor that lives across the street from the school said he remembered seeing the brown van driving up and down the street the morning Bianca went missing.
One resident who lived right across the street from the school remembers seeing the brown and tan conversion van driving back and forth the morning she disappeared.
It would slow down, then it would go, then it would park down, then it would come back down. So we're figuring, they're waiting for somebody to come out from the school.
So this uncle was already lurking around the school before Bianca even got there, which makes a lot of people believe that this was planned. Like, this man told Bianca that he would be there at 8:30 in the morning to pick her up and take her shopping. Now, although Bianca doesn't have a direct uncle, Bianca's mother believes that she may have been using the word uncle a little bit more loosely. I know a lot of Hispanics call their family friends uncle, aunt, or cousin, even if you aren't directly related to them. Like, I have a lot of childhood friends that I call my primo, which means cousin, even though they actually aren't my cousin. I also used to call my friends' parents my aunt and uncle. So like, if you were my friend, I would call your mom like, oh, my tia. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what happened with Bianca. She definitely felt comfortable with this man because she was willing to skip school, which, as I mentioned earlier, is not something that Bianca did. So if she was comfortable enough to do that for him, maybe she was comfortable enough to call him her uncle. However, if that's not the case, it could be possible that this man was lying to Bianca and told her that he was her uncle in order to gain her trust. Either way, the Bridgeport Police Department looked into all of Bianca's family. They thoroughly investigated all of her relatives, they investigated any uncle she could possibly have, and they also investigated her parents, and they cleared everyone. They don't believe that Bianca's family is involved, and they have now labeled her abduction as a non-family abduction. So at first, Bianca's disappearance received very little coverage. There really weren't that many news stations talking about Bianca's disappearance, but this wasn't going to stop her family from doing whatever they could to spread awareness. They would go around town putting up flyers of Bianca, they would hold search parties, and her parents even did a couple of press conferences. They also searched the mall, they talked to all of her friends. I mean, they literally looked everywhere, but there was just no sign of Bianca. She went missing on a Wednesday, and it wasn't until Saturday when the news finally reported on her disappearance. This then sparked a nationwide search for Bianca, and her disappearance was featured on America's Most Wanted, and her mother actually went on The Maury Show to talk about her daughter. On The Maury Show, they had a psychic take a trip to Bianca's neighborhood and to her school to see if maybe he could feel or see something that could help find Bianca. But this psychic said that whoever took Bianca is not a relative and that it's someone that has been watching her for a while and is into little girls. He also believes that this man used Carmelita's name as a ruse to gain Bianca's trust. So maybe it's what we mentioned earlier about this man lying to Bianca and saying that he's actually her uncle. Maybe he did lie and was like, oh yeah, I'm your mom Carmelita's brother, I know your mother. and that's how he was able to gain her trust. So yeah, Bianca's mom was on the Maury show. They had the psychic, and she basically just talked about what happened the day Bianca disappeared and how you can help find her.
That is the nightmare that my next guest, Carmelita's reality. Her innocent 10-year-old daughter, Bianca Lebron, was waiting in line at the schoolyard when, according to witnesses, she was lured away by a predator. Every single second since that day, Carmelita has thought of nothing else but bringing her child home. So this is what we did. We sent psychic Jeffrey Wands to do an investigation in Carmelita's hometown in Connecticut, and we're going to show you the results of that a little later. But first, what was your reaction when you heard this story about what she said to the people at school?
It was terrifying because I don't have no brothers. I only have sisters.
Right. She told who? A teacher or her friends?
She told her teacher and also her friends.
That she was going to go with her uncle.
She was going to go talk to her uncle, and she was going to return back, and she never did.
Now, this all happened at what part of the day?
In the morning, around 8:30, 8:40 in the morning, before going to school.
She was out at school?
She was at school.
She had gotten to school. She was in the yard, in the schoolyard?
Actually, she was with her teacher in line ready to go in, and he let her go when she said that.
So you didn't know from the morning when she got to school until 5 o'clock. You just assumed she was in school.
Exactly.
I see. Anybody see that van? That's very important. And you have a sketch of what the man looked like who said that's the man who claimed to be her uncle? This is the sketch?
Yes.
So, one way or another, is Carmelita going to get closure?
I think most definitely coming up that this is going to get resolved.
I definitely think it's great that Carmelita was able to go on the Maury show because it's definitely a great platform to spread awareness. You know, his show reaches a lot of people, so I'm super happy that they were given that platform. So 6 months went by after Bianca's disappearance, and there really wasn't any serious movement in her case. It wasn't until some of Bianca's friends told police some pretty shocking information. They told police that Bianca had a secret boyfriend. They said that this was an older male and that they had seen Bianca with this man holding hands, hanging out, and they had seen them kiss. When police asked her friends if they knew who this boyfriend was, they said that it was then 20-year-old Jason Lara. So police make their way to Jason's house to speak to him, but he's nowhere to be found. He was gone. So while police were trying to track down Jason, they spoke to Bianca's family to see if they knew about this secret boyfriend. And it turns out that they did know who Jason was, but they had no idea that they were dating. And I hate to say dating because that's not dating at all. I mean, she's literally 10 years old and he was 20. So it's not dating, it's grooming. So Bianca's grandmother, Sonia, said that Jason is the son of her late brother's girlfriend. So he isn't directly related to Bianca, like he's not blood. The only way he's related to her is because his mom is dating one of Bianca's relatives. So Sonia said that Bianca does know who Jason is and that she would often go hang out at his house, but that she doesn't think that they were dating because she's just so young. You know, she's a baby, she's 10 years old. There's no way she could be dating a 20-year-old man. I also read another report that stated that Bianca's friends told police that she would often go hang out at her uncle's house because a boy that she liked lived there. So maybe that boy was Jason. Police also learned that one of Jason's friends drove a brown van similar to the one that Bianca was seen getting into. So after learning all of this, of course police wanted to go speak with Jason. However, it wasn't until a year later in 2003 that police were finally able to track him down in Florida. While he was in Florida, he was actually charged with forgery because he had written a false name on a check. So while he was arrested for that, police used this opportunity to speak to him about Bianca's disappearance. Now, he denied knowing anything about Bianca's whereabouts. He says he had nothing to do with her disappearance, and he says that any allegations against him about kissing Bianca and being involved in a romantic relationship with her are completely false. His girlfriend at the time, who he had been dating for a couple of years, also said that these allegations were completely insane and that there's no way he was in a relationship with a 10-year-old girl. Jason also gave police an alibi for where he was when Bianca disappeared. Of course, course, police went to go check out his alibi, and it turned out to be true. They were able to corroborate his alibi, so they never named him a suspect, and they no longer believe that he's involved in Bianca's disappearance. I definitely think it's strange. Like, why would Bianca tell her friends that he was her boyfriend, and why would they say that they've seen them kiss? I feel like it's one thing to tell someone that he's your boyfriend, but it's another thing if people have physically seen you holding hands, kissing, and hanging out. So I definitely think that entire situation is weird, and I truly hope that nothing inappropriate was actually going on. After this, 6 years would go by without any new movement in Bianca's case. In 2009, the Bridgeport Police Department received a tip letting them know that Bianca's body could be found in the west end of Seaside Park. This tip led to a 2-day excavation of the site, but nothing was found. Then, in 2011, police received a tip from someone in New Mexico, where someone in an online chat room claimed they saw a picture of a girl that looked like Bianca. So, police went, they investigated this tip, but unfortunately, it led to nowhere. Bridgeport Police Detective John Burke is in charge of Bianca's case, and he says that every tip that comes in, whether it's small or large, is thoroughly investigated. He has boxes of files pertaining to Bianca's disappearance, and he has hope that one day they will find her. But unfortunately, to this day, in August of 2022, Bianca has still not been found. It's been over 20 years since she was last seen, and she would be in her 30s now. The Bridgeport police says that the case is still open, and they continue to need the public's help in finding Bianca. Now, going back to the school, after Bianca disappeared, the school did change their security protocols. They did this by having an extra camera installed in the back of the school and having a patrol officer outside in the morning and at dismissal. There was also a new policy made that would require parents and babysitters to check in with the school staff before letting a child leave. If the school had enforced this policy back when Bianca went missing, things would have definitely gone differently. I 100% believe that Bianca's teacher could have done better. He should have walked with her to the van to confirm that this was her uncle. He could have done more, and it's just unfortunate that he didn't. Of course, Bianca's family also feels that way. Her mother still has hope that Bianca is out there and that she's still alive. However, she had to declare her daughter as legally dead in order for her to sue the school in a wrongful death lawsuit. She blames the teacher for what happened and feels like he was responsible for Bianca and should have notified her that Bianca had left. This lawsuit alleges that the carelessness of the school's employees led to Bianca's death. Now, the teacher who let Bianca leave was suspended with pay, and eventually the school permanently closed. In 2008, the city agreed to settle, and they paid the family $750,000. Of course, this doesn't make things right, and it doesn't bring Bianca home. When a parent drops their kid off at school, you expect them to be safe and be taken care of by their teachers and the staff at the school. You expect that the teachers are going to watch over them and do whatever they can to protect the children. To learn that your kid literally told a teacher that she was going to ditch school in order to go shopping with an uncle, and this teacher did absolutely nothing to confirm this or to stop this, is just terrible. It's very sad, and I definitely think every school should have a better system in place. Every year, Bianca's family holds a prayer service on the day she disappeared, and they release balloons with pictures of Bianca into the sky. They say that even if they can't have Bianca back, they at least want closure. They just want to know what happened and who was responsible for this. Carmelita says that she keeps asking herself, why me? Why Bianca? Why this family? She says that this is something she can never forget and that she lives with it every single day. She still pictures Bianca sitting at the kitchen table having her breakfast, and she says that this image is forever frozen in her mind because it's the last time she saw her daughter. Bianca's grandmother, Sonia, has a picture frame of Bianca sitting on her table next to her bed. She says that she loves having Bianca's photo there because she's the first thing she sees when she wakes up. She hopes that one day she'll be watching TV and she'll see Bianca's photo appear on the screen and they'll say that they found her, just like what happened to the missing women from Cleveland. So just to give a quick refresher, Amanda Berry, Michelle Knight, and Gina de Jesus were 3 girls from Cleveland, Ohio who were found alive after they had been kidnapped and held captive for over 10 years. which is just crazy. I feel like that's every family's dream, is to eventually be reunited with your loved one. And the fact that they were held captive for so many years and were finally able to escape is just very empowering and very inspirational for other families. It gives them hope that maybe this will happen with their loved one. Sonia says that when she heard the news about the girls being found, of course she was happy for them, but she also said, I wish that was us. I wish that was Bianca on TV. I wish that she had been found and that she was coming home to us. Hearing about the Cleveland girls definitely gave Bianca's family hope that Bianca is still out there and that there's a chance she will be found one day. Detective John Burke also says the Cleveland case is the perfect example of why you never give up. And I truly hope that the police never do. If you know anything about what happened to Bianca or about her whereabouts, please contact Detective John Burke at 203-581-5183 or the Bridgeport Police Department at 203-576-TIPS. You can also contact the Center for Missing and Exploited Children to leave an anonymous tip at 1-800-THE-LOST. Now, there is a $64,000 reward for any information leading to Bianca's whereabouts, so please share her flyer, share her photos, and let's keep her case going. Here's an age-progressed photo of Bianca. I know it's been over 20 years since Bianca was last seen, and that's why it's so important to continue to talk about her, continue to share her flyer, and keep her case going. We definitely don't want this to turn into a cold case, so I hope by making this video, we can spread as much awareness as possible. But yeah, you guys, that's pretty much all I have for today's video. I told you it was a very crazy case. I mean, the fact that this man literally went in broad daylight in front of all of these people and didn't even try to conceal his identity, it's just very bold. My thoughts and prayers go out to Bianca's family, and I truly hope that you guys get answers soon. Alright, you guys, I would love to know what you guys think about this case down below. And again, if there's any other cases you guys would like me to cover, make sure to comment it down below or submit it through my case suggestion form down below. Thank you guys again so much for being here and listening to Bianca's story. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!